Oh, yeah, baby. Sponsored by the Liquid Gold, baby. Soon to be released out on Spotify, iTunes, and all music streaming platforms. Ron Oliver and I have come up with a music album for sports fans. Soon to be coming out to you. Stay tuned. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman. Yes, the Mailman today. I will be out there with doing my appointed rounds, most likely in the rain. This is it's going to be in the 60s, low 60s, so it's not horrible, but got an allergy thing going. I wanted to do a live stream last night. I apologize to everybody who reached out, but I was tired. Don't know why, but I was more tired than usual. So I'm going to do this video. Maybe we'll do one tonight. But, you'll get my morning drive video and you'll get my lunchtime chat. So stay tuned. But we have a lot to talk about this morning. The Dallas Cowboys, I'm trying to take in as much information from the trusted sources. Some are trusted and some just throw stuff up against the wall and see what sticks. I'm glad that the facts are finally out as it pertains to Osa's deal. We'll get to that. Everybody gets a little carried away with the salary cap and, oh my God, we can't do anything. I've been telling you people what was going to happen, what needed to happen. It seems as though last year was the blow it up year, some would say. We let a ton of a ton of talent go. A lot of it was, okay, are we going to re-sign a Dorrance Armstrong who got paid big time money in Washington? And yet Carl Lawson had better numbers than him, and we got for pennies on a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Again, you overpay for free agency, which is why I tell all of my Commander fans, I do tell them, I'm like, what you need to do is start drafting good, or else you're never going to get over the hump. There's a reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl, okay? Not everybody has a Mahomes, where sometimes they can just carry a team. Not everybody has a Tom Brady who wills a team to Super Bowls with good talent, but we could argue there wasn't great talent. At some positions it was, but Tom Brady was just a gamer. Outside of those anomalies, you need to draft well. And the Eagles have been hitting home runs, extra base hits in the last few drafts, and then they add a Saquon, and then you see what happens. So Washington, start drafting better. Dan Quinn is hit or miss in the draft. Again, not overly thrilled with Dan Quinn and his involvement in the draft. Good coach, obviously took him to the NFC Championship game, but if you want to get to the promised land and ultimately win it, you need young talent. So circling back to the Cowboys addressed some of their young talent by signing Osa Odigizua, okay? I want to go inside of the numbers of Osa's contract just to relax people. Again, I hear a lot of people, I'm not going to name names in this video. You watch them. You watch the same so-called insiders that I watch. And, whatever. Everybody has an opinion. And most opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one and most of them stink, right? On Tuesday, the Cowboys signed defensive tackle Osa Odigizua to a 4-year deal in lieu of applying the $25.12 million salary tag. Now, they could have had until July 15 to work out a deal. We've seen this act before. It's not a way to go into any sort of free agency. They needed to act swiftly with everything. Okay? There's no reason to wait. Deadlines does not make deals. It does. It makes bad deals, Jerry. Address it early. Show the player that you love them early. So in this instance, it worked out, but probably we paid more than maybe we should have. But I'm not going to hold your organization accountable for last year. Wide receiver market was different. There was a bunch of wide receivers that are come to do free. I had a problem with Dallas not addressing the CeeDee Lamb the year prior. Again, hit it early. We should be dealing with Tyler Smith. Excuse me. I need some more liquid gold here. I need some more liquid gold. We should have been like addressing the Tyler Smith and the Deron Bland deals now, before next year. So we'll see. Again, we'll see. But by signing Osa to a long-term deal, we save big time. Like I said, the $25.12 million franchise tag in a highly unusual move. The team released different. All right. Okay, here we go. The base value of the deal is $80 million and a $58 million guaranteed. Now, the reason why you get so much of that guaranteed is because of the timing of the deal. The timing of the deal. Why? He is just days, literally, what's today? Hump day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days away from free agency. Legal tampering. He will be allowed to go out. You'll see. If Eagles don't bring back Milton Williams, watch how high that is. Milton Williams is a higher level free agent than an Odigizua. Even though I posted, and I posted on my YouTube and on Twitter that Osa was number one. Let me repeat, number one. Let me repeat it because I'm not going to pull it up on my screen here. Osa Odigizua, pressure leaders in 2024 from the defensive tackles. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy. Tied for number 4, Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams had 32 pressures, tied with Kalijah Kancey with the Bucs. We liked Kalijah Kancey, remember? We did like him. Here you go, Randy McIntyre, my guy. I still hold out hope that we could somehow land him in Dallas. At number 3, Jeffrey Simmons with 33 pressures from the defensive tackle spot. Number 2 is Chris Jones at 37 pressures from the defensive tackle spot, followed by number 1 in the league. Okay, everybody wants to hate and doesn't know what they're talking about. This is from Next Gen Stats. Next Gen Stats. Look them up. You can look it for yourself. Osa Odigizua led the league last year and 42 quarterback pressures. So I bring that up to just let you know the value of the player that we signed at an age where I'm okay with signing guys at 26 years old. But here's the contract. Signing bonus, $19.75 million. Okay. And 2025 ball. Now, I want to preface this by I am speculating on this part. Now, I did speculate on a lot the other day, and I got everything pretty much 99% of it right. So, do you remember me talking about the one thing that Osa's issue was? In the first couple years of his, he wasn't a first-round pick. In the first 2.5 years of his life as an NFL player, he would tail off towards the end of the season. You know, he was a high school All-America, and he was a high school All-American and college All-American wrestler. Okay, he's a very athletic man. But it seemed like in the NFL level, he was tapering off towards the end of years. You get down to the last few games of the season, he was gassed, as the lead hot boy would say, DeMarcus Lawrence. We was tired, boss. We was real tired. I don't know why he was tired, but it's interesting the way his contract was laid out. In 2020, in the 2025 offseason workout program, he will get a $5,000 salary de-escalation. They'll take $5,000 away if he fails to satisfy the workout obligation. Remember, this was the first year he completed a full season. Not that he's missed any games, but he hasn't tapered off towards the end of the year. He was just as effective at the end of the year than he was at the beginning of the year. That's big to know. So, um, so that's in 2025. 500,000 de-escalation. 2025 base salary, $1.75 million. Fully guaranteed, but subject to potential 5,000 de-escalation. So 500,000 de-escalation. So he could potentially make 1.25 this year. Basically, he has to show up and take part in the probably conditioning and weight program. That's probably what that is. Because, and I'm sure Osa is on board with it. He don't want to lose money, number one. Number two, now again, this is all speculation. If it comes out that it's wrong, I will come up front and say, but why would they be doing this? Okay, 2025 active per game bonus up to 5,000, fully guaranteed but must be earned. 2026, 500,000 salary de-escalation if he fails to satisfy the workout obligation. Maybe he wasn't a regular attendant early on in his NFL career. What do I always tell you? These rookies need to come in and hit the weight program. They'll always be stronger in their second year, and they'll be better off for it. 2026 per game, it's same thing. Active per game roster bonus up to 500,000 fully guaranteed, but must be earned. Probably active. He has to be active in order to earn it. 2027 base salary, $20 million. $13 million of which is guaranteed for injury at signing and becomes fully guaranteed in 2027. So he'll get all the $20 million. The salary is subject to salary de-escalation if he fails to satisfy the workout obligation. We're seeing a trend here. 2027 active per game roster bonus, 500,000. 2028 off-season workout requirement, 500,000 salary de-escalation if he fails to work out to satisfy the workout obligation. Base salary in 2028 only $20 million. Same escalation. Same bonus. Per game bonus of $500,000. That's sweet. And he'll make $22 million in 2025 if he satisfies the offseason workout obligations and is on the active roster for all 17 regular season games. That's $3.12 million less than he would have had under the tag. That's it. He's given back 3.12 in this year if he satisfies everything. But let's not just understand the cap is different. He ain't gonna count that against the cap. The fully guaranteed $39 million signing bonus, a total injury guarantee of $52 million. So if he gets injured, the club and him are protected big time. As to the base value, it's technically $80 million. However, $4 million is tied to complying with the offseason workout program for the next 4 years and being on the active roster for every regular season game. Again, what are the odds that he's going to be active for every regular season game? He ain't going to make all that money. So it's even a better deal for the club. For the number one tackle in the NFL for quarterback pressures. Okay? It's a stat. It's a singular stat. It's not sacks. It's pressures. You ask any person who knows what they're talking about, it's not necessarily the sack, but it's the pressure. If you could pressure the quarterback, you're affecting the quarterback, most quarterbacks. It's ultimately his right to take the deal, but even if the Cowboys wouldn't have tagged him in 2026, he would have needed to make only 13.88 in 2026 to break even. To summarize, some players bet on themselves, some take the bird in their hand. Odigizua took the bird in the hand. Yes, it was not team friendly, very, very fair deal. You'll see what Milton gets on the open market. I'm really going to be surprised. To me, it's going to be upwards of $22 million. So you're going to save $4 million. Big time money. Remember, he has a $500,000 bonus for every basically, if he's not active roster, he doesn't get paid $500,000. He has, so that's a big deal, people. That is a big, big deal. Just some quick quick news around the Cowboys. Brandon Aubrey had minor shoulder surgery. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Minor. He will be ready for all off-season workouts. Not a big deal. It was a quiet combine, I will say. Very quiet combine, which is a good thing. People are speculating about Jerry Jones's health. Some are speculating that he's dying and they're in a win now mode. I don't believe that. Jerry Jones, I love Jerry Jones. I can't say it enough. But again, we got some great news. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but Will McClay is the GM in waiting. He's already looks like, from the naked eye, he was in on all the head coaching hire interviews for the first time ever. It looks like he's already starting to do his job. He signed a 5-year deal just a few weeks ago, and in that deal were certain things that led you to believe that he will be the next GM, which is a relief for a lot of us Cowboy fans because we did not want Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy, as the GM, not because of anything personal other than we want a football guy there. Now, we'll see. He still has to do a job, and we will grade him accordingly. The Cowboys, I did address this. You tagged Cavante Turpin, a second-round tender, and it's a $5.3 million. Here's the deal. Any team in the league could sign him for that. They would have to give up their second-round pick. Now, he's a back-to-back special teams all-star. He's the best returner in the game. So that's not a bad price. I named Buffalo as the lone team who has multiple seconds because of the Diggs trade to Houston. So they got one of their own in the late 20s and then one at the end of the second. I mean, the late 50s and then one at the end of the second as a comp pick. So maybe they will feel that it's worth it for them to get the best kick returner in the game. And it would be interesting to see if Dallas brought him back. I would say Dallas would bring him back, but I would take the second round pick. That's just me. We got Jalen Moreno Cropper on the team already, who that's what his specialty is. It's kick return. And to me, the value of the kick return has decreased so much that I would go that way and take the draft pick. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm glad they did it. So that's good. Brock Hoffman is in the fold. Brock Hoffman and Wanye Thomas have signed their exclusive rights free agents. What does that mean? What does exclusive rights of free agents means? Well, that means that they haven't earned enough years to qualify for free agency. They haven't been in the league enough. So this is part of the levels of being totally free. They're exclusive rights. So they get a minimal deal. Maybe the veteran minimum, maybe it's basically the veteran minimum. Both of them are back on exclusive right deals. That's a 1-year deal. I don't have that number, but whatever the vet number, maybe 1.3 mil each, something like that. And next year, they will be restricted free agents like Cavante Turpin was this year. They will be restricted. They will be allowed to go out and get a deal. Dallas can tender them if they want. If a team signs it, they get their draft pick. So we got that going for us. There was a move that happened that I was kind of surprised at. But again, he's a special teams ace. I've been writing CJ off for years now. Primetime Phil will tell you all about it, but he'll tell you that we've both been like, all right, well, CJ Goodwin's done. CJ Goodwin, now he's back again. CJ Goodwin's back at the age of 35 to captain our special teams unit. He signs a 1-year deal. But yes, and here's the deal. I'm not going to go too much long. I'm going to try and keep this under 30, so I got to talk fast. We got some work to do. Before next Monday. And they have started talks with Micah Parsons, okay? You can say what you want about Micah. He doesn't stop the run. He's on a good you can say all the junk you want. The facts are he has sacked a quarterback more than any man through his first 4 years in the NFL, except one. Micah Parsons has sacked a quarterback more than any man in the NFL history since they were documenting sacks, less one man. And that one man is Reggie White. So you can say whatever you want. He's a one-trick pony. I get it. But if you're great at one trick, I'll take it. And listen, you don't have to. That's what makes America great. You could disagree. I could agree. People say I don't like the podcast. I was critical of the podcast until people were saying, hey, Brian, he could be out on the streets running a gun and he could be racing his car up and down like a Henry Ruggs or, whoever, Jalen Carter or, Sam Williams for the Cowboys. You could be doing all kinds of things off of the field. You could be boss man fat running a gun and with your boys shooting up people. You could be going to massage parlors like the kicker out of Justin Tucker and the now infamous Watson. Deshaun Watson. Massagey Watson, as we call him. So if my guy is stuck in a podcast and that's all he's doing, people, I could deal with that. The in-season podcast, cringy a little bit. Maybe I would, once he signs his deal. But again, I'd rather him do that. He's holding the team accountable. He said we need to get a deal done. This has never happened for a guy of his stature to get a deal done now. They always wait. In recent history, they always wait. So I was listening to, I think it was 105.3, I think. It was Broadus, I think. And I'm not sure who it was, actually, but it was 105.3. It may have been, I take that back. Sorry, it was Talking Cowboys yesterday. Go watch it. Patrick No C. They were talking about all the restricted, all the franchise tags. Dallas has somewhere like 13 total in their history. And it was interesting to hear some of the names. Some of them not as good as you would think, but I'm glad we didn't have to use it. But yes, Mike is in talks. Jordan Lewis is in talks. D-Law's in talks. This all needs to be done. Now, I believe Micah and Jordan Lewis will get done. Doesn't have to be done. But I believe they will get done before March 10th, which is only a few days away. Why? Because that's free agency. We will be here talking about it. Now, as they sit right now, okay, they sit at $17.9 million under the cap. That's not counting the $18 million rollover from last year. That hasn't accounted. So we sit here today after the Osa deal, the Brock Hoffman deal, the Cavante Turpin, I don't believe is affected in that. Wanye Thomas, C.J. Goodwin. We sit here today with $36 million. Okay, that includes that. I don't know if that includes. No. Yeah, that includes the CD restructure. Okay. We saved $20 million with the CD restructure. Dak Prescott. I just read an article. That's the next thing. Expected possibly today. Dak Prescott. You will save $37 million when the Cowboys flip his switch. 37. It's just it's an accounting move. CD came out and said, I'm doing this for that. You had no control over CD. You already agreed to the contract. They were doing it. I told you they were going to do it. I was talking to Ultra yesterday. I said, well, if they don't do it with Dak, that tells you that they're trying to get as much of that money in and out to possibly release him. But we're hearing that they're doing it. Not this year, but in a year or two, which is still a possibility. So with the Dak restructure, with the flip switch, that will bring them to $73 million under the cap. Micah Parsons, if he agrees to a deal, looking at the numbers, at the minimum, they're going to save at least $14 more million under the cap. That brings you to $87 million. That is not counting any of the roster moves that they could potentially make. There is a half a dozen moves on this team that could save them $30 million, $35 million. Now, I don't want all of them, but you can restructure Terrence Steele's deal. Big time money there to restructure. You could restructure Diggs' deal. I personally wouldn't. I'd want to see what he looks like. People are writing the man off. Don't write off Diggs. This other players have had this surgery and bounced back. So let's, just like Dak Prescott, everybody's saying he's done. He's done. Hamstring off the bone. I get it. He's 30 years old. You haven't gotten the playoff results that you wanted. I get it. But you saw a man of his same age, maybe a year or two younger, but football age, was definitely older than Dak, in my opinion. Tyron Smith have the same surgery and come back in the same year, later in the year. Again, Dak is not where he needs to be. He assures he's a tireless worker. You can say whatever you want. The haters can say what they want about Dak Prescott. You can't measure the man, and you can't measure his work ethic, and that comes from heart. And I've been very critical of Dak recently because I want him to be more vocal about saying, hey, we need this, we need that. Because it's your legacy that's on the line, Dak. You're going to be judged on how many playoff games you win and holding up a Lombardi trophy. You. So, again. So, okay. Rounding up. Devontae Adams was just released. He's available. Cooper Kupp, I told you the inside track from what I'm hearing. The relationship with Cooper Kupp, if released, most likely will become a Cowboy with the ties to the Cowboys coaching staff. And Stephon Diggs. Everybody wants to say they hate Diggs. He's a cancer. I like a motivated Diggs. I think, again, if you're asking me who, I'd rather not give up a fifth and get Stephon Diggs than give up a fifth and get Kupp. You can have them both if you want. You really could. The money is not an object, people. I just want people to realize, stop it with we don't have money. New Orleans Saints are way over the cap. They'll get under before Monday, and they'll do what they got to do. Again, it's starting to look like last year was a purge year, like Mike Fisher said. I will give Mike Fisher credit for that. But Osa's deal came under what Mike reported was going to do. He said, well over 21 mil. No, it's not. And you see all the stipulations in Osa's contract. It could be a real bargain. So, that being said, that's it. That's it for the video. Let me know what you think about any of this. But Game Time Brian, I will have my morning drive video. This will not come out until after, so go watch it. When you see this, when you're done, go watch it. And I've got to see what time the press conferences for the Zach Martin retirement. Yes, the Zach Martin retirement. So I'm going to try and premiere this sometime this afternoon, not to interfere with that. So, all right, everybody. That's it from me. I'll talk to everybody a little bit. Don't ever forget.
How about them Cowboys?
We rolling now, baby.